Hello, everybody. Coordinator of Employee Relations here at CSU Channel Islands, and happy to be here this evening. We have put together a great event with wonderful panelists to kind of kick off the conversation. And just to help orient the students, there will be two major functions to this event, with the first half being a panel discussion. The second half will be the networking, where you have the ability to interact and really create a dialogue and bring your own questions to the table. And so to kind of get it started off, let's get a better sense of who it is we have here today. And so just by looking at the slide here, I'm going to start off from left to right. If you can take about 90 seconds to tell us a little bit about who you are, your title, maybe a fun fact or a hobby. And so we'll start with Alfred Camposagrado, if you don't mind kicking us off.
Sure, no problem. Thanks, Alfredo. Hello, everybody. My name is Alfred Camposagrado. So as you can see, I'm a lead software engineer working at Webasto. So just some hobbies that I do. I like to travel. I like to eat different types of food and work out. So, and one of the nice things about the pandemic was I was able to create a home gym. So I really enjoy using that. So yeah, it's a little bit about me, guys.
Thank you, Alfred. If you don't mind sharing as well, maybe speak to a little bit more about being an alum and just quickly about your your trajectory.
Yeah, sure thing. So yeah, so I graduated from CSUCI in 2014 with a computer science degree. And I'm actually currently in the master's program. I will graduate this semester in also computer science. So yeah, that's a little bit about my how I started off with my education and yeah, so that's about it, Alfredo.
Thank you, Alfred. Yeah, appreciate that. We'll move on forward to Jeff. Jeff, if you don't mind introducing yourself, telling us about your name, your role, a little bit about yourself to kind of get us kicked off here.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. I appreciate being here. It's an honor to be included. My name is Jeff Kooker. I'm an operations supervisor at Meissner Filtration Products here in Camarillo. I handle what's called support products department, which is a lot of hardware, stainless steel, aluminum, all kinds of different labware that goes along with those things. Hobbies, fly fishing. I used to play some rugby when my body could handle it. Getting a little older now, it's a little tougher. Love doing trivia night with friends. Love watching old movies, new movies, bad movies, all that good stuff. But right now I got 2 daughters, so my hobbies have kind of switched over to unicorns and princesses and learning how to braid hair and do tea parties. So I'm doing the hashtag girl dad thing right now. But thanks again for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for being here, Jeff. Really appreciate that. Moving it on over to Eric Meisner.
Yeah, Eric Meissner. I'm Director of Operations at Meissner Filtration. We've got a bit of a contingent here tonight, so I'll explain a little bit about what we do. We manufacture microfiltration devices and different manufacturing systems that our pharmaceutical companies, customers, use to make pharmaceutical drugs. So our customers are big biotech companies. Gone through a lot of growth over the last couple of years, not the least bit with working with COVID vaccines. We were instrumental in every single vaccine that was manufactured across the entire planet. So we now have about 800 staff with our headquarters here in Camarillo. Yeah, so I'm Director of Operations. I oversee quite a few functions here at Camarillo. But my most important responsibility is to make sure that we've got the right facilities and infrastructure and people to continue our growing and supporting our customer base. Hobbies, I love to go kite surfing and big into skiing, so we drive up to Mammoth almost every weekend. We have a lot of time, great time traveling. Get to see a lot of our different international facilities that are being opened up, and it's a lot of late nights here working. Been a busy couple of years. I graduated from the Cal State Channel Islands master's in biotech a number of years ago. It took me quite some time to get through that program, but it was great working with having the night classes available. So I really enjoyed my degree there. I'll turn it over to Xochitl. I see she's on mute.
Sorry about that. So thank you for having me here. My name is Xochitl Zuniga, and I am a customer service supervisor at Meissner Filtration Products. I work very closely with Eric Meisner. I'm actually under the supervision of Eric, and I also work very closely with Jeff Kooker, amongst other departments. We handle all customer inquiries, domestic and international processing orders, any type of inquiry it's funneled through customer service. Hobbies, I like hiking. I also like weight training. I used to do bodybuilding. That kind of shifted a little bit since now I have a brand new baby, so I haven't been able to be as active as I used to, but that's something that I still enjoy doing. And I graduated from Cal State Channel Islands in 2005 with a bachelor's degree in business administration.
Thank you, Xochitl. Really appreciate you being here. Keeping it moving, Waheed, tell us a little bit about yourself, your role, maybe a fun fact.
Yeah, and congrats again, Xochitl, on the new baby. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I'm about almost 34 years old. My birthday's next week. I've been in the biotech industry for about 7 years, and I work in clinical trials. Our goal in clinical operations is to manage the trial forward, generate a bunch of documentation and ETMF, the important files into our trial master file. Our goal is obviously to get any of the clinical trials that we have to completion, and hopefully we can, at that point, get some sort of a drug approval. And just for fun, I like sci-fi a lot. I have tickets for my Doctor Strange movie tomorrow. I love gemstones, so just regular person. I went back to, or I was at CSUCI 2012, 2013, 2014 when I got my degree. Thank you guys all for having me.
Thank you, Waheed. Thank you for sharing. All right, keeping it moving forward, we have Rene Hubert with Amgen. Do you mind speaking a little bit about yourself, your name, title, and a little fun fact?
Sure, I'm really glad to be here today, and it's nice to connect with Cal State University Channel Islands. I actually live in Ventura, which is very close to where you guys are, and I have the privilege of working at Amgen in Thousand Oaks, which is also nearby. Been at Amgen for 4.5 years, and as you know, Amgen is one of the world's largest biotech companies, and I'm in the biologics division of Amgen, and we make protein therapeutics. You know, you must have heard of monoclonal antibodies. It's a big thing during COVID. Well, we make a lot of monoclonal antibodies for oncology indications. We even have them for lowering your cholesterol or treating migraines and bone disease and so on. So my career has been focused on these types of molecules, these monoclonal antibodies. And right now I'm in a group that optimizes them. So we do a lot of mutagenesis to make sure that we can optimize the proteins to be good in patients and also good in the manufacturing experience. I'm originally from Canada. I came here to do my PhD at USC and then did my postdoc at Cedars-Sinai, and then bounced around several biotech companies in the LA area. For fun facts, I used to actually be a roadie in a rock band, and I used to do the soundboard for them as well. So I've had some interest in that. And my wife and I were in a nonprofit organization that would perform yoga and music in the prison system in California. So fun facts about me.
Thank you, Rene. Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure you have quite a lot of stories, you know, with
Yes.
experience. So thank you for sharing. Well, awesome. In the interest of time, we're just going to keep going on because I'd love to get to some of these questions and provide some of this context and insight that we're here after. So keeping it forward, Gamze, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. If you don't mind as well, sharing a little bit about yourself and your role.
Yep, you pronounced it right. I'm Gamze. I'm really excited to be here to talk to you guys. I'm also interested to hear more about Rene. We've been working together since I joined Amgen in 2018. So, but certain fun facts we don't get to hear sometimes in other setups. So I'm in the same department as Rene. I'm also in the protein engineering department. He's a director, I'm a senior scientist, so he's several years ahead of me in terms of experience there. I'm originally from Turkey, and what brought me to Amgen actually ended up being CSUCI. So that's my connection to CSUCI. I did my undergrad in Turkey and then did a PhD in Cambridge and then did a postdoc in Berkeley. I was thinking of the academic route, but then, decided I wanted to actually get involved in biotech. But in the meantime, I met my husband during my postdoc. He got a job down here in Cal State Channel Islands to teach biology in the genetics in the biology department. So, two-body problem became a two-body solution for me. So, I was already doing antibody engineering. So I came along here and found a really nice spot. So I'm really interested in, his students and, you guys in general and working more with you guys. In terms of fun facts, I also have a small child, so 3-year-old, and I think, at this point, he's pretty much my hobby. So it's more like perhaps some videos and his interest and his whatever he's doing at the moment. So more like parenting is my hobby right now.
Thank you so much for sharing, Gamze. Glad to hear that there's a connection between you and Channel Islands and how that all kind of came about. Thank you for sharing that. All righty, here, keep the conversation going. Jesica Mendoza, you can speak a little bit about yourself, your role, and maybe a fun fact.
Yeah, so like he said, my name is Jesica. I work at Curia. I am a research scientist. A fun fact about myself is that I was just admitted to medical school, so I will be going down that route. Something that I like to do for fun, I like hiking, I like traveling, and I also really like puzzling. Just some background on Curia. We are a CDMO, so we take contracts from other clients who need help with any of their drugs, and then we help with developing that drug. I specifically work with the formulation team, so we work on developing different formulations and getting the drug into a stable form and a stable environment for the drug.
Thank you for providing that context, Jesica, there. All righty, so we're approaching here time before we move on to our next segment here. So what I'm going to do is now address questions to the respective organizations. If each individual, if there's individuals from the same organization, maybe tag team the question and maybe take no more than 60 seconds to 90 seconds to answer. So I'm going right back to you, Jesica. Did you know you were going to be doing this job when you were an undergrad student? Can you share maybe a little bit more about your experiences there?
Yeah, so when I was in undergrad, I did do research. I graduated in 2019. So if there are any students there, they probably are doing research in the same fashion that I did. I asked a professor, started doing research, and I just wanted to know if I wanted to do research in the long run or if I wanted to go down the medical route, because I wasn't exactly like set in stone, and I know the medical route is pretty tough. So I think for me it was an option, but I didn't know for sure that this is something that I was going to go into. And I'm really glad that I did give myself that opportunity because I ended up really liking it. And I think something that a lot of students don't know is that you can do both. You can go to medical school and end up working in the research side of medicine. It doesn't have to be that you're with direct patient interaction. So I thought it was a really nice sort of like detour for me, but I love taking that detour. So I really liked it.
Wonderful insights, Jesica. Thank you so much. I'm sure the students will have a little bit more to pick your brain on that in the next segment here. Going to Alfred Webasto, in your field, what are typical entry-level positions somebody could apply to after earning a bachelor's degree in computer science?
Yeah, so I think the interesting thing about computer science is it's such a wide array of jobs. So like for example, if we look at Webasto, so and sorry, Alfred, I didn't get to do a little spiel about Webasto. If you don't mind, I can kind of talk a little bit about it. Okay, so what Webasto does, so they're actually based in Monrovia, so around Arcadia. So they focus in the charging space. So one sector of it, they do EV charging. So some of the big clients that they have is GM and also Ford. So one interesting fact about that is in all the new Ford Mach-E's, it's actually made by Webasto. So that's kind of interesting. And then also there's different sectors of airport charging, and also warehouse charging, so like forklifts and stuff like that. So yeah, and then what kind of jobs are available kind of in that field? So there's kind of two sides of it. There's like embedded software engineers, where you're more on the low level code. You're focused on like microcontrollers, so you're writing the code that controls the, like the mobile charger or like industrial charger that will be charging like a forklift. And then on the other side, there's like the digital side, which is kind of what I focus on, is more on the cloud cloud architecture, and also like the web applications and mobile apps. So those are just kind of the things that are available for Webasto. So
Thank you, Alfred, for sharing that. Moving forward, this question is directed to both Eric, Jeff, and Meisner. What future do you see for the job market in this career in your specific industry? Or can you speak to maybe some of the trends that are developing over the next few years?
Yeah, we are obviously a very quick, fast-growing company. We have right now, I believe, we're expecting to hire about 100 engineers in the next 12 months. So engineering is probably our most quickly growing field. The future of our industry is moving heavily towards automation. One of the things that our customers are demanding are reduction in particulate, which means the biggest cause of particulate for our products, just people shedding. So eyebrows and eyelashes are the bane of my existence. So one of the best ways of increase robust systems and really perfectly reliable systems are automation. People make mistakes in general. So we are working on extremely exciting automated equipment. Some of it's pretty large scale. We just installed recently the first ever automated clean room warehouse. So basically it's a bunch of robots that run inside of a self-enclosed clean room along a grid and pulls individual inventory out of our area. But in order to make all that happen, it's a team that's first engineers that are actually working on robots. It's really fun, that type of automation. But going way beyond that automation, going towards software developers, we've got about 10 open positions now for software developers that create the link between the controls of the robots, which is done by a controls engineer, to our ERP systems and our manufacturing systems, MES, manufacturing enterprise systems. So what happens is when an order is submitted and it's supposed to be manufactured tomorrow, our robots start to go fetch those raw materials, and those robots actually builds little kits of those raw materials that are needed by our manufacturing operations the next day. So before the operators even know what order they're going to make, the robots already have those raw materials fetched and ready and then delivered right to exactly where they need them to be in our manufacturing floor. So no longer do we have doors open with people looking down the aisles of warehouses and moving materials into our clean room. So heavy in science and technology. Yeah, exciting stuff for a lot of our engineers.
Thank you, Eric. Quite a lot of information. Looks like there is prospective employment at Meissner Filtration. I'm sure the students are taking note. Jeff, anything you'd like to add?
Oh, mine's a lot less exciting than Eric's. We're doing stainless steel welding, assembly, and stuff like that. I'm one of the few departments in Meissner that's not 100% in the clean room. So the future in our department is a little harder to automate, but what there is a lot of opportunity for still is more intelligent setup of purchasing, inventory, inventory, resource management, all of those aspects of it. It's a little more on the old school compared to the automation, but there's still a lot of fruit on the tree, so to speak. So really excited for the stuff that we have coming up and for how much we've grown.
Thank you, Jeff. We're here nearing our time, but I really want to hear from our friends from Amgen. So this question is now directed to the folks of Amgen. If you can speak a little bit, maybe take 90 seconds to speak a little bit what you really enjoy what do you enjoy most about your job? And what challenges do you find daily? If daily, if not, what cadence do you see and how you kind of overcome that?
Maybe Gamze, you want to go first?
I'll tell what I enjoy most about my job. Give you the harder job. How about that? So what I enjoy a lot about my job is, as I mentioned earlier, I got trained as a scientist, the full-on PhD postdoc thing. So I'm super excited about science. But as a scientist, one gets really narrowed down into a specific set of skills. And what I really, really enjoy about my job is that I get to work as a part of a multidisciplinary team with a lot of other scientists and non-scientists to bring a project towards completion. So I really like that aspect of working with, cutting edge researchers from different, specialties, and then putting some puzzle together, basically.
I'll just add to Gamze is that I always kid around with my buddies, that I'm actually getting paid really well to go to school, right? Because every day we're learning, and that's something, a lesson for everybody, right? Your education doesn't end when you get your diploma. And if you're in a great company like Amgen, you'll be stimulated every day, you'll be expanding your knowledge base, and you're going to be evolving over time. And what I was doing 2 years ago is different than what I was doing now. What I was doing 5 years ago is different. And what I did during my PhD is not what I'm doing now, and so on and so on. You got to constantly evolve. And the people that are good at learning and adapting are going to do well, in this business. So.
Thank you, Rene. Wonderful insights. I hope the students here on the call are getting a taste of what to expect in the next session. And so thank you so much for all our panelists.